Hey guys, so in today's video I'm going to share all my tips and tricks for getting started with sublimation without spending an arm and a leg. I'm going to share how I was able to get started without investing tons of money, especially since I wasn't even sure that I would like sublimation. I'm going to tell you all about what printer, ink, paper, tools, and heat presses you can use for sublimating. I am going to share a bunch of things that you can sublimate. Some you may know and some may surprise you. I'm also going to walk you through different ways you can sublimate because there's more than one. Hey guys, I'm Tori. Welcome to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Before we jump into which printer or heat press works best for sublimation, let's talk about what sublimation actually is, because this part confuses a lot of people, honestly, even me sometimes. Sublimation ink is always transparent, so your prints will look dull or faded on paper. That's completely normal. Now, when I say transparent, you might think that you should literally be able to see through the ink like glass or watercolor, but that's not what I mean. It still looks like a solid color on paper. What transparent really means in sublimation is that the ink has no white in it, so the color of your blank affects how the design looks. That's why sublimation works best on white or light colored polyester. So if your print looks dull on paper, don't panic. That's exactly how it's supposed to look. The ink isn't activated yet. Once you add heat, it turns into a gas. Then it bonds to polyester or anything with a polyester coating, and that's when the color really pops and comes to life. Sublimation never peels or cracks because the ink actually bonds into the fibers. HTV sits on top of the fabric, so over time it can peel or crack if the adhesive fails, but sublimation becomes part of the material itself. To sublimate, you must use a sublimation printer, sublimation ink, and sublimation paper. You'll also need a surface that contains polyester or a polymer coating, whether that's a sublimation ready blank or an item that you've coated yourself. So if you've ever tried sublimating on cotton, Dollar Tree mugs, and it didn't work, that is why. So let's get started. So let's talk about what printer you can use to sublimate. I'm going to tell you about a few of the top sublimation printers and how much they each cost. Number one is the Epson SureColor F170. This printer is built specifically for sublimation, so there's no conversion required. So that is a plus. This is great for beginners and pros. And this sublimation printer costs about $430. But wait, we'll get to it. Number two is the Sawgrass SG500. This is a good sublimation printer if you want to go into a business. Sawgrass is a big name in sublimation, and the SG500 is known to be basically a workhorse that delivers premium quality. This one costs about $650. Then there's number three, which is the Epson EcoTank ET 2800, 2850. This is the best budget conversion printer. So if you're willing to convert a printer yourself, the EcoTank line is definitely the way to go. This costs around $268. Number four is an Epson EcoTank ET 2803. This is another best budget conversion printer. So if you're willing to convert a printer yourself, then this EcoTank would definitely be the way to go. The cost is around $179. I have the Epson ET 2720, which is the older version of the Epson 2800, which is number three on the list. I absolutely love my Epson. I bought mine for about $199. Had this printer for 5 years. Mine came as a regular printer, which I converted to a sublimation. Super easy, but once you convert it to a sublimation printer, that does void your warranty with Epson, just so you know. Also, once you convert it, you need to stay with Sublimation. You don't want to go back and forth between inks. So converting an Epson printer to a Sublimation printer sounds really hard and technical, but all that really means is using Sublimation ink instead of regular ink. So when I took my printer out of the box, instead of setting it up and using the ink it came with, I set that ink aside. You can use it for another printer, donate it. Then I bought Sublimation ink and I filled the tanks with that. That's it, super easy. Let's talk about Sublimation ink and how to find the right one for your printer. You'll want to type in your printer model and Sublimation ink. For example, I have the Epson ET2720, so I typed that into Amazon, followed by Sublimation ink. This will pull up all the Sublimation ink that is compatible with your printer. I have tried pretty much all the Sublimation inks over the years. I've used Printer Jack, Hippo, but it wasn't until I found Best Printers Sublimation ink that I honestly saw a really big difference in quality. I used to think that all Sublimation ink were the same. So I know I sound like a commercial, but I really do love this Sublimation ink. I am definitely a visual person, and it wasn't until I saw the big difference that I realized that this Sublimation ink was for me. Let me show you what I mean. This is what the pink looks like with that new ink that I've been using. Look how bright this is. But this looks amazing. I just wanted to tell you. They're also kind enough to hook up my subscribers with 10% off their Sublimation ink. All you have to do is click the link in the descriptions below, enter promo code CREATE2026, and you can save 10%. So why not give them a try? I promise you'll love them just like I do. So I'll leave the promo code in the descriptions below. Now we've talked about printers and ink, so let's talk about heat sources, because this is where a lot of people think that they need to spend hundreds of dollars right away, and you absolutely don't. So depending on what you want to sublimate, that will help you decide what heating source you'll need. I was interested in making tumblers and mugs. I honestly didn't even know that you could sublimate so many other things back then. That's why I chose the toaster oven first. Now, I also wasn't sure if I was going to like sublimating, so I didn't want to spend a lot of money and then end up wasting it. That's when I decided to look for a convection toaster oven at a thrift store. I found mine for $9.99, and I actually still have it. Honestly, it is one of the best ways to get started if you're on a budget or if you're just trying to figure out whether sublimation is for you. So how do you know what toaster oven to buy at the thrift store? So we know, number one, it has to be a convection toaster oven. You cannot use a regular toaster oven. It has to be a convection toaster oven. Here's the easiest way to understand why. A regular toaster oven just heats up from the top to the bottom. A convection toaster oven has a fan inside that actually blows the hot air around. The fan is the whole reason that it works for sublimation. When you're sublimating a tumbler or a mug, you need the toaster oven to heat evenly all the way around at the same time. So if the heat is uneven, that's when you'll get faded spots, light patches, ghosting. Basically, half your design won't transfer. Number two, how to tell if a thrift store toaster oven is convection. Because honestly, they don't always say it. This is actually my second convection toaster oven. The first one did not say convection. This one I got lucky and it says convection oven. Mine says convection bake, which is the same as convection oven. So this one, if it says that, you're good to go. The first one that I bought did not. So I'm gonna walk you through how to know. So the first thing that I did was I looked for the brand name. So this is an Oster. The next thing you wanna do is locate the model number. So it's usually on the back or on the bottom. In my case, it's on the back. So we turn it around. So you'll see right here, it has, can you guys see that right here is the model number. All right, so once you found the model number and you know the brand, you will type the brand and the model number into Google, add the words instruction manual. You'll see the manual, you'll open it up, and it should tell you right away if it's a convection toaster oven. Super simple. If the manual says that it's a convection toaster oven, you're good to go. One more thing. These toaster ovens are used, so yes, most likely people already cooked food in them, and that's totally fine. But once you sublimate in a toaster oven, you cannot use it for food ever again. So when you sublimate, the ink turns into a gas, and that gas sticks to the walls, the rack, the heating elements, everything. So even if you can't see it, the inside is coated with leftover sublimation dye, chemical residue, fumes baked into the metal. If you ever cooked food in the same oven afterwards, the heat would reactivate those chemicals. So basically that means the fumes can get into your food and you can eat chemicals. So basically it's not safe, it's not worth it, so don't do it. Now if you're someone who's not really into tumblers or mugs, but you'd rather start with shirts or a puzzle or any flat item, you're going to need a heat press. A toaster oven won't work for that. So there's so many handheld heat presses online, Amazon, Walmart, Target, and they come in all different price ranges. Some are a lot less expensive, some are a little more. It really just depends what you're looking for. But the main thing to look for is that it reaches 400 degrees Fahrenheit, because a lot of sublimation blanks need those higher temperatures. Just like a toaster oven, if you're not sure that sublimating is your thing, you can always check out Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp. People sell heat presses all the time and you can find some really good deals. Definitely worth checking out. Now I'm going to show you the ones that I personally use just so you can see the options. So I have the AKE DIY Smart Press, and that's around $69. The Cricut Easy Press 3, which is about $99. And then if you want something that applies pressure for you or gives you more consistency, then here are the ones that I have. I have the Viver Auto Heat Press, and that is around $239. Wubify Swivel Auto Heat Press is around $339. And if you want the most versatile for your money, there's also the Wubify 8-in-1 Heat Press. That's around $229. And then keep in mind, all these prices are subject to change. Now let me explain that really quick, because 8-in-1 sounds confusing if you're new. It basically means that it comes with different attachments, so you can do more than just shirts. You'll get a flat press for shirts, puzzles, and coasters, an 11-ounce tumbler mug press, attachments for straight and tapered tumblers, 9, 12, and 17 ounces, a hat press, 2 plate attachments, 5 inches, 6 inches. So you get a lot of options without buying separate machines. This one is around $229. And really quick, because I know somebody is gonna ask, you cannot use the household iron for sublimation. Irons don't reach 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and they don't stay at a steady temperature, and they don't give you that even pressure. And with sublimating, you need to do all three. You have to have high heat, consistent heat, and flat pressure. So the household iron just wouldn't work. All right, so now we've talked about heat sources and what you might need depending on what you want to make. Let's go over the basic supplies that you're going to want to have on hand. Nothing crazy, just the essentials that you might reach for every single time you sublimate. Your supply list will look something like this. You'll have sublimation printer, sublimation ink, sublimation paper, sublimation blanks, heat resistant tape, and I absolutely recommend the 20mm because it holds so much better. Heat resistant gloves, white craft paper, shrink wrap if you're using the toaster oven method, lint roller or alcohol to clean the blanks. These are the things that you'll use over and over again. Okay, so I want to be totally honest here. I just learned this myself So if you've watched any of my older sublimation videos, you'll see that I'm always using parchment paper. And yes, it does work. It's just messier. Parchment paper doesn't absorb the ink, so that blowout ends up on your mat and your press, and that's exactly what happened to mine because they're stained. So now that I know better, I want to teach you guys the proper way so you don't make the same mistakes. That's why I switched to white craft paper. So by using the white craft paper, it absorbs the ink, so there's no mess. All right, so let's talk about what you can actually sublimate on, because this is where a lot of people get confused. Instead of listing a million things, I always tell people who are new to sublimation to check out Amazon or Walmart. You'll type in sublimation blanks and you'll see everything. It's honestly the easiest way to get ideas. But here are the most common blanks that people start with: keychains, magnets, mugs, tumblers, and they also have coasters. These are slate blanks. They just have so much you can sublimate. License plate. These are the koozies. You name it. So you can do the same thing over on Walmart as well. Again, you just type in sublimation blanks and they just have so much to choose from. All of these already have either polyester in them or a special sublimation coating, which is why they work. If you've ever seen videos or titles saying that you can sublimate on 100% cotton, what they're actually doing is something that makes sublimation possible, like sublimation HTV or sublimation spray. Cotton by itself can't hold sublimation ink, so you'll need something that adds a polyester surface. Let me show you what I mean. This is the HTV sublimation vinyl. So we're just gonna go ahead and open it up. We're just gonna take a sheet out. So here is the vinyl. You'll see that this side is shiny, this side is dull. You'll want to place the shiny side down. So let's go ahead and line this up. And I'm going to use the brayer again. Just get all the air bubbles out, make it smooth. So we're going to go ahead and select everyday iron on, and our mirror is on. Place it in here. I'm gonna take it out, and you can faintly see this circle. So we're gonna go ahead, turn this upside down and peel this off. Here you can see the circle, so I'm gonna go ahead and just cut around it. You can use the part that we did not cut on. So let's just go ahead and cut around. So you can see the circle. You should be able to see that. So we're gonna put the shiny side down. We're gonna take a weeding tool and just weed off this part. So just like that, remove it, take it off. There we have this. First, we're gonna take a lint roller and just go over the area that we are going to sublimate on. Next, we're gonna pre-press it for about 10 seconds just to take the moisture out. And we're gonna take the vinyl. So the shiny side is up, and I'm just gonna kind of bend it over so that the circles match. And I'm gonna line up this right here to the center. That looks good. All right, and I'm going to use heat resistant tape. So what I'm gonna do is take parchment paper, place it over here. You only want to press this for 10 seconds. So let me go ahead and change the timer really quick because we had it at 60. Go ahead and just go to 10. So we're gonna go ahead at 395. And we're gonna press for 10 seconds. I just wanna make sure I got the whole thing. Okay, we're gonna hit go. And it's gonna be a firm press. And again, only 10 seconds. This is a cold peel, so we have to wait about 5 minutes for it to cool, and then we're gonna remove this. So it's been 5 minutes and this should be cooled. We're gonna go ahead and remove the tape and the vinyl. So let's go ahead and take the vinyl off. So I'm just gonna hold this shirt and we're gonna peel it. Okay, so it is kind of a little bit difficult. There is a pull to it, just so you know. We're gonna just pull the shirt and pull it. Okay, so you can see this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys can see pretty good. All right, now let's make sure we can press all of it. I did change the heat press to 60 seconds because we have to put this on for 60 seconds. Make sure you put this the right side up, which thank goodness I mentioned that because I had it upside down. So we're gonna place it on here and I'm just gonna center it onto the vinyl that we just placed. Let's go ahead and tape it down. Go ahead and take this. So we're gonna do 60 seconds at 395. I'm gonna make sure it's on all of it and hit go. And we're gonna give it firm pressure for 60 seconds at 395. Take it off, and this is going to be a cold press as well. So it's been 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and take the tape off. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Oh my gosh, I am so impressed. Move this over. And let's take the cardstock out. This is so freaking adorable. Isn't that so cute? I'm going to use this awesome sublimation coating spray, and we're going to spray just that area. You only need a little bit of this. This will go a long way. The more you use, it's going to be like a little bit harder, and if you don't want that, very minimum works great. Let's go ahead and spray just this area. That's all. You want to wait for it to either dry naturally, which would just be a few minutes. If you want, you can use your heat press, dry it that way. I am going to set this for 390 for 35 seconds. So what I'm going to do is apply a little heat to this, one, to take the moisture out so it adheres better, and also to dry it a little bit. So put parchment paper or a Teflon sheet underneath, and I also like to place it on top. So let's go ahead and do that. And we are going to push this in and just do about 30 seconds. You may also notice some steam that comes out. Actually, I don't see it right now. I did when I tested it. That's totally normal. That is just because you're heating up a chemical. So you may get that. Well, it's normal to an extent. I mean, if it's like really smoking or something like that, that might be another issue. So, okay. So let's go ahead and pull it out. Okay, so that is completely dry. So I'm going to take this. So I'm going to go ahead and place it on the shirt, and I'm going to use sublimation tape. So you want to make sure it stays in place. Let's go ahead, place this Teflon sheet on top, and we're going to place it in at 390 degrees for 35 seconds. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and pull it out, and the directions say, let me turn this off. The directions say it has to completely cool down before you remove the sublimation paper. So we are going to do that. So it's cool. It cooled down in like 5 minutes. Ooh, you guys, that is so cool. Let me go ahead and take the cardstock out and show you a close-up. Isn't this so cool, you guys? It looks awesome. It's breathable. It's not, it depends on how much you put on. I think it looks really good, you guys. I would definitely recommend this. I loved using it, and I'll definitely use it again. And if you're not sure sublimation is for you, or you're just getting started, I know it can get expensive buying sublimation blanks. Dollar Tree is actually a great place to find some items to practice on. So some items that you can practice on are polyester socks, microfiber cloths. They have pillowcases, seasonal polyester items, an adorable wooden chalkboard. Those are just a few. Before we wrap up, I want to go over the top 10 mistakes that beginners make, because trust me, I've made every single one of these. If you avoid these, you're already way ahead. So number 1, expecting the print to look bright on paper. Remember that your print looking dull is normal. It only gets bright after heat activates the ink. Number 2, using blanks that aren't polyester or coated. If it doesn't have polyester or sublimation coating, then it's not going to work. Number 3, forgetting to mirror the image. This one hurts. If you don't mirror your design, your text will press backwards. Always double check before you hit print. Number 4, not lint rolling or cleaning the blank. Little fibers leave blue dots or faded spots, so a quick lint roll saves you every time. Number 5, not putting paper or cardstock inside shirts or bags. If you skip this, the ink can bleed through to the back, so always add a barrier. Number 6, using parchment paper instead of craft paper. Parchment paper doesn't absorb ink, whereas the white craft paper does, and it keeps your press nice and clean. Number 7, not taping the design down well enough. If your paper shifts every tiny bit, you'll get a lot of ghosting, so tape is your best friend. Number 8, pressing too hot or too long. More heat doesn't mean better results. Too much heat can burn or muddy your colors. Number 9, using a regular toaster oven instead of convection. No fan, uneven heat, faded patches. It has to be convection. And number 10, not checking your time and temperature settings for each blank. Every blank is different. One might need 60 seconds, another might need 90 seconds. Always check the recommended settings so that you don't under or over press. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and found it helpful. If you're interested in getting into sublimation, I tried to make sure I could answer as many questions as I could think of. Also, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. And I'm curious to hear what you guys are going to be sublimating, so comment below, let me know. Also, if you're interested in Best Printers Sublimation ink, you can save 10% with the code CREATE2026. The link is in the descriptions below. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Bye.